Welcome to the Bettis Musgrove Show, a community-focused podcast introducing key community figures, discussing important local issues, and empowering listeners with the tools they need to impact their local communities. We sincerely hope you enjoy what you hear and will continue to engage with us on our journey to enrich the lives of those around us. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Musgrove, Spencer Bettis, and Christopher Light. All right, welcome back to the Bettis Musgrove Show. We're going to keep going with our series now on for-profit businesses in the community. And today we've got an absolute gem for you. If you've been following along, you know Forsyth County is just full of history and just a ton of amazing people and just organizations here. Today's episode is going to be no different. We are honored to be joined by Mr. Seth Thomas with Thomas Lumber Company here in Forsyth County, and he's going to tell us a little bit about it. But I think the most interesting thing that I've heard so far, getting to know him this morning, is that it's coming up on a 100-year anniversary, which is just mind-blowing when you think about the longevity there.
And Johnny Talent says it's located in North Coal Mountain.
North Coal Mountain, yes. North Coal Mountain coming.
Yeah, I guess it would. Northwest. I guess we're Northwest, yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Absolute pleasure to meet you. Christopher's talked a lot about you, so I look forward to hearing your story today.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. You know, yeah, we are Thomas Lumber. We were started in 1927, and it's funny. Everybody's like, well, you know, you started in 1927. Well, where's the original location?
Yeah.
Well, that's where we are. We haven't moved.
That's pretty cool.
And so it's talking about North Coal Mountain. You guys are right there on Matt Highway, kind of at the Highway 9 interchange right around there, right?
Yeah, it's actually, so when people ask for directions, we just say, hey, we've got exit 18.
Yeah.
So we're a half mile off of 400 though. So we're right between Highway 9 and 400 there on Browns Bridge Road. And, it's kind of cool. We've got, that section of the road was named after my dad. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Now it's the Bobby Thomas.
Yeah.
Bobby Thomas Highway.
That's awesome.
So,
well, I've known Seth and Bobby a long time, and incredible people. I've never heard the story about how Thomas Lumber. Well, first, Bobby passed a few years ago, right?
Right.
What a stalwart in the community, man. That dude. I got to work with him some and got to know him really good as an adult, which was really cool. So I just wanted to point that out, and that they named the stretch of highway after him, which is
that's neat. I mean, you know you've done something when you get a highway named after you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's awesome.
I know he was always proud. He's like, it got named after him before he passed.
That's even cooler.
Yeah.
Well, and he's like, it's not a Memorial Highway, it's the Bobby Thomas Highway, right?
That's funny.
All my friends that have highways named after him. It happened after they were dead. I'm not dead.
That's pretty cool.
So,
but knowing you all these years, I've never heard the story about how I just always assumed, I guess, Bobby started it and just started cutting wood and built it up, but
so he didn't. That's actually one of the pictures we brought here, in the background.
Yeah.
That's my dad and me as a little kid and my great grandfather who actually started the business.
Great grandfather.
Yeah. So, that's his name is George Thomas. He grew up his house where he lived, from what I always remember, it's right there at Highway 9 and Mountain Road, right where the city, right across the street from it. It's a landscape place now, but that was his house. And I guess, back then everybody was just looking for a way to make a living. They really weren't, just put food on the table, provide for their families. So what they did is, it was a cotton gin and a sawmill.
Okay. And
it was more of a portable sawmill. So what they would do is, like, Christopher, you're going to build a house, you got your property. They'd bring the portable sawmill out and, process the timber on the property, let it dry for a little bit, and then come back out with the planer and plane it down to whatever dimension you needed to frame up your house or, whatever. And
that's wild.
Incredible.
And then at the same time, if you brought them the lumber, they would process some of it for you there. And it was a cotton gin, and they operated the cotton gin up until I think it was the mid 40s.
Okay.
Early to mid 40s. I believe I'm correct in that.
So the one we have at the fairgrounds, they're operational, but sort of replica or homage.
Yeah, it was very similar.
Yeah,
it was very similar to the one at the fairgrounds. And I forget the cotton gin went to all that stuff got sold off or whatever. But
Sure.
I think it was Bill Thomas's dad, I think, had part of the cotton gin that was at Thomas Lumber.
Yeah.
Well, then, so after George, I guess, retired or sold it to his two sons, Roscoe and Malin, or Doodler. Everybody called my grandfather Doodler. Yeah. And so you had Roscoe and Doodler, right? Two great names, right?
That's like a couple hound dogs.
I know. That's a Coal Mountain name for you right there, right? But yeah, so they ran it from the 40s up until my dad came along in the mid 70s, and Dad bought Roscoe's share from him, bought into the business and expanded it to what it is now.
So when did they put the kind of the base of operations together? Was that Roscoe and Doodler? Or?
No. So it's funny, you go back and hear some of the stories that those guys told. Like one of them that kind of sticks out with me was, they did away with the cotton gin, and even like you go back and you look like the 50s and 60s, they really, it was really still just a local lumberyard, sawmill,
right?
Just a way to make a living and provide food for a family, and they weren't really they weren't thinking about expanding it or doing anything to grow the business.
Yeah, like you said, you're making enough money to feed the family, and that's what we need.
And you look at Forsyth County at the time, that's really, we were really a poor county.
Very.
And they were just glad that they had some kind of a job that provided for their families. So anyway, but like some of the stories that they talk about or that they told me was, for years they had the operation, and they were running the planer. Well, so you've got, when you're running this, it's a big machine. I mean, it's bigger than this room, right? Longer than this room is, and basically you've got a guy that's standing there that's feeding the machine, feeding the pieces into it, and then you got a couple of guys on the opposite end, getting the pieces off and stacking them. Well, the planer was under a cover, but the guys feeding the machine and the guys stacking weren't under a cover, right? And they're like, they're sitting there in the hot sun, beating down on them, July sun, whatever. Yep. And they're like, we got plenty of lumber around here. We should build us a shed.
Build a shed.
Yeah. So that's kind of what they did, right?
That's funny.
And 100 years later, it's sitting on probably some of the most desired real estate in the county.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
So what is it today? Tell us what the operation's like today.
Well, so today what we do, whenever Dad took over, he kind of found a little niche and specialized in Western red cedar. So that's kind of our little niche. Like we're probably, of retail, contractor, wholesale business, lumberyard, we probably have one of the largest inventories of cedar in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
So what is cedar typically used for?
You'd use Western red cedar, maybe like interior paneling. The big use in the 80s, it was really huge, cedar siding.
Yeah.
That was the look. The California ranch, everybody wanted, cedar siding on their house.
I've got cedar. I love it. It's all in my house. We got cedar columns, cedar rafters.
Yeah. So that's it. Accent pieces, like, the big columns, like we've got, it's kind of funny whenever they did the dedication of the highway to Dad, I made sure behind the podium in every picture there's this big stack of, one of the bundles of lumber, and it was 12 by 12s. Yeah. Because that's about the biggest piece of beam that we have.
Yeah.
But it's a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of cedar.
It's a solid piece of cedar.
Yeah. That's right. It is solid. So
where do you get the wood?
It all comes out of Canada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, the last couple of years has been a little rough. We're dealing with some tariffs.
Yeah,
and some duties and other things that have been added on since the new administration. But
that's a logistics operation in itself, I guess.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a rail yard over in Oakwood, so we'll bring in a rail car load, or we also bring in truckloads. Truckloads is funny. Truckloads can get here from Canada in about a week, versus rail cars. It takes, depends on the railroad, but 3 weeks to 5 weeks.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was faster with rail. Okay.
Yeah, I would too. Constant
No.
movement or.
It's cool that we're still using rail. You would think it's antiquated, but I mean, I guess.
Well,
you
in
gotta-
times like right now, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So, where you've had this big spike in
Yeah, $6 a gallon diesel. I mean,
yeah, we're talking with some of them, like whenever they're leaving out of Washington State, and Washington State it's $7-8 a gallon,
Oof.
for diesel fuel.
That's great.
So, and then they're
Which
coming
then makes
across
you-
the country.
yeah, it makes your Cedar a little more expensive.
It does.
I guess you guys probably ran into it too during COVID with all the supply chain issues and that too.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. On the Cedar side, we didn't face as much of a supply chain issue as some of the pine products that we sell. So
Yeah. Do y'all do any Georgia pine, or is it all the pine come in from other places too?
no. So what we do, Southern yellow pine in the Southeast is kind of a commodity. I mean, everybody sells it. You compete with everybody on it. So what we do is we bring in some Western white pine. And the Western white pine, we make shiplap paneling out of it. We make, and when I say make, we can probably back up a little bit on that. So we're not just a lumber yard, but what we do is we have a sawmill there. So we still operate a sawmill to this day.
Yep.
But it's more what we'd be classified now as like a remanufacturer. So like we'll bring in, 1x8 Western white pine, and then we'll turn it into shiplap paneling for all the Chip and Joanna Gaines fans, right?
With my wife.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we'll produce that pattern put that on there, and then sell it to the to the end user. Same thing, cedar beams. Like we don't just bring in all the cedar. We may actually turn it into other products, or like in your house you want cedar beams, but you want them smooth. You don't want them rough sawn like these boards are here. So instead of buying the beams already dressed, we'll dress it. And that way, whenever you get it, it's nice and fresh and bright.
Yeah.
It's not something that's been sitting on a lumber yard or that's come across the country on a train car
Makes sense.
and gotten dirty.
I know when you drive by with your windows down and you guys are cutting wood, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't smell it.
I guess you're used to it.
Yeah, that's right.
25 years there as probably longer. Probably running around there as a kid, I guess.
Oh yeah, I used to run around, drive my parents crazy.
Yeah.
I'd run across, play in the lumberyard and run across the stacks of bundles, of cedar.
So who's the customer? Do you still like local folks can just walk up and say,
Yeah,
I need
if
X,
you
Y,
guys-
Z, or
Yeah, if you guys want to come in and get something, that's no problem. We'll help you guys out. Most of the local customers would be contractors. That's mainly who we deal with. Or we ship all over. We ship North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia.
that's what I was curious. I didn't know.
Yeah,
if y'all were
other
regional.
lumber yards. So that's going to other retail contractor yard locations. It's interesting. I've got a peek. One of my drivers brought in some of these papers today, and I was looking through like her customer list. And in 1990, we had we actually sold to Lowe's.
Okay.
Before, and so it's interesting on this kind of transition of business. Lowe's was actually a contractor yards is the way that they did it, and then they wanted to follow in on the Home Depot example.
Right.
So they bought up the contractor yards and operated as a that's when they became Lowe's big corporate. Right. So we were selling to them when there was contractor yards, and they we had I think there was 80 locations that we were selling to.
Yeah.
And then when they became the big corporate deal, it got a little bit harder to deal with them.
Too much to supply, yeah.
Well, we could have supplied them, but what you saw was the transition from they were buying a lot of cedar siding. So you go over the transition from cedar siding to, they didn't want to stock it. They want it to where it's special order items. Well, it's hard to get special order items to North Carolina from here in a day, like they want it to happen. So there's a lot of logistics things that changed.
It's pretty cool.
Whenever they went to that corporate structure that they had.
Does your market fluctuate with real estate then, house building?
Yeah, so for us, it somewhat does. Everybody's like, oh, you guys should be killing it in Forsyth County right now, right? All the construction going on. But because we're a specialty supplier, a lot of that doesn't get used in a lot of your Toll Brothers or Pulte or some of your big tract homes. Yeah, you don't even see a whole lot of shiplap being used in those homes. That's mostly sheetrock, and you might be lucky if you get some trim put in that.
You talk about this mass clientele over here. So.
Yeah. But where we come in is like, okay, so you've been in that house for 5 years. You're tired of looking at this walls. You're going to do a little bit of a remodel, or you want to redo your deck. Put cedar columns on, on the deck. And we sell Trex. We sell a Brazilian hardwood called Ipe that a lot of people use for decking. Cypress.
Yeah. That's exactly what we lived in one of those, or still do live in one of those homes. And my daughter flooded it in 2020. She stopped up the toilet and ruined the whole house. But when we rebuilt it, I was like, we're getting rid of all this drywall. We'll put up shiplap and cedar and build a back porch. The whole back porch is cedar. So it probably came from you guys.
Probably did. Yeah. That's right. There's a good chance it did. Yeah, it's funny. I know, we hear that a lot where people, you get tired of it, and it's let's put in some shiplap. Let's do this.
Something different.
Yeah.
Just a little character.
So how big is Thomas Lumber now? How many employees you guys got?
We have roughly about 15 employees. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're a lot.
Seems like when you go right by there, it's a big property and a lot. Looks like there's a lot going on.
Yeah. No, we've kind of 2008 kind of made it a little bit of changed the industry a lot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of consolidation and a lot of people that went out of business that were customers. The consolidation hurts a small business, a wholesale business like us, because what that does is it makes it to where you got corporate people making the decisions for local businesses what they buy and who they buy from, or different the way that the deals are structured versus me just dealing with straight with the owner. Now you got to deal with corporate, and they think they have better buying power and better product availability if they think if they buy mill direct, so to say. Right. So at that point, we probably had about 25 employees, and so we're down to about 15. So we got a good core customer base.
Yeah.
At our peak, what's crazy, so like at our peak, we actually ran at the mill operation, in the 80s, we ran 2 shifts. We had about 85 to 90 employees. And some of the stories that I was told was like, we had some lumber yards in Marietta. There was a location called Hobson Building Supply, and they had like 2 or 3 locations. Well, basically, we would ship them a truckload of cedar siding a day. And they said, don't even bother with giving us paperwork on it. Just bill us.
Just send
us a bill. They didn't want paperwork on it. They were like, and just keep bringing us. But it was a truckload of siding a day.
That's awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I guess is technology kind of reduced the need for labor then in any ways?
No, if you go into like a bunch of sawmills, even like ours is a small operation, but you go into even bigger operations, there's still a big human component to it.
Does AI have any kind of future in the lumber industry?
Quite possibly. I can see that AI would.
Yeah.
But I think that's more on helping deal with the customer.
Yeah.
Versus just I don't see AI being able to at this point pull lumber for you.
Stack 10 boards in the back of your truck.
Put 10 boards. I don't see that. And I know I know with robots and technology that I hate to say never, but I still think it's one of those it's kind of like a business like an electrician or a plumber.
Yeah.
I don't see AI replacing those guys other than maybe giving them a different way to a background of what for research of how to do their business better, maybe.
Sure.
Right?
It's hit us already. It's crazy how fast it's changing the legal market, but that's remain. If you're a trial lawyer, I think you're safe. AI can't go and argue in front of a jury. It can give you some numbers and tell you how to do it, but he can't actually make the argument. So
Right.
you're probably right. When it takes the skill of somebody loading and unloading and actually doing the cutting, and I think you're right.
Yeah, I think there could be some, where I have seen some of this, and it gets better and better. The technology does, but I have seen where in some of the bigger mills, what they do is you're seeing more of like AI computer. It started out with computers, and I could see AI taking this over, but like the grading process of lumber, how lumber is graded.
Yeah,
towards using cameras and scanners and stuff.
Right.
And
how many pieces you can get out of one.
We have seen that out of, but that's more on the tree, for the tree side of things, right? So when they're processing it from the forest, that's is it going to be better for 2x4s or 2x8s or?
Yeah.
And we've also seen where there has been more of a shift in from whenever you're buying or from the mills, what the mills produce and what they base their production on. Being more generated towards what will yield them the most money.
Right.
Used to what they would do is they'd just be like, well, we're going to run 1x8, we're going to run 1x6, we're going to run, 2x4. They had like this program that they'd run it. Versus now they're looking more at a yield base instead of the supply that's sitting on the yard.
Right.
So we have seen, and I can see how AI would drive that even further.
Yeah. Did you know from a childhood that you were going to be in the lumber industry, or did you want to do something
I
else?
always said it.
Okay.
It's kind of, when I was a kid, I always said I wanted to run, work at Thomas Lumber.
Yeah.
And even when I got out of college, I actually had a marketing job, or I worked for a marketing company managing a database. I was a database manager, so I was a computer geek, I guess, at the time. And then the basis of that was I wanted to get experience somewhere else. And then, 5-10 years later, come work at Thomas Lumber. But then Dad asked me, hey, it's a good time for you to come. I need you for this. So, I actually started there 2 or 3 years. Yeah, 2 or 3 years out of college.
Where'd you go to college?
I was at North Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, I started at Berry.
Did you play basketball up there?
No, I didn't.
I knew we played some. Seth was a good basketball player. I didn't know if you played in college.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't that good. Well, I'm flattered. I wasn't that good.
This guy acts like they had a basketball team growing up.
Oh, we did.
We had one.
Yeah, we had one, and now it's now. No, y'all did. Y'all were good.
Yeah, we weren't bad.
Yeah,
we were all right. What do you think about that stretch of Bobby Thomas Highway now? It's like a retail center, and the crossing development. I mean,
I joke around. What I'm going to do, I'm going to work from home. I'm just going to buy the penthouse.
You can
that way
oversee.
I can just oversee everything.
You call down and say, Roscoe, you ain't.
Yeah. That's right, dude. Or get busy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, it's coming fast and furious, and as a landowner and you could see it coming. As soon as Walmart comes into an area, it's going to blow up. The new exit there kind of makes it actually makes traffic move easier.
Took forever, but
it took forever, but
I have the traffic is better. Obviously, than when they were constructing everything, but
but even before that, just traffic just flows, right?
Yeah.
And the big thing that I've seen, to me, like growing up, and this, like you and I grew up we were on the west side of 400,
right?
Well, going over to the east side, like 400 was always kind of a barrier.
Yeah,
like it was almost
just
it was a pain to. I mean, and this is even before. I'd say this is, goes back 25 years, even before Forsyth County became as big as it is. 400 was always that barrier to cross over, and we versus now, it's easy.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So what does that mean for, it's like retail and residential right there, and you guys are kind of different, a manufacturing sort of business.
Well, I was
right
here
there.
before them, so
I know.
I don't plan on changing.
I'm just
it,
curious. Is there any have y'all talked about a move or something? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Man, I tell you, we've talked about it, and a move's going to be tough for our business because of how old we are.
Sure.
Yeah.
You just got it set up just the way you want it, don't you?
Yeah, Bobby Thomas set it up exactly how he wanted it. You know,
that makes all the sense.
And if you know my dad, you know that's a very true statement.
Exactly how he wanted it.
Yeah, that's it. But no, you know, the hard thing with us as a business is, and I'm always open to ideas and, you know, listen to people talk about this. But for us, we're kind of grandfathered in where we are.
Sure. And
then also to physically move what we have and how we make a living in the lumber business, it'll take a big capital outlay.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if
it would probably shut you guys down for several weeks to get all that moved.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What you try to do is you try to, you know, have the other operation up and running.
Yeah.
Before you moved all the inventory, but the problem is like moving the machinery.
Yeah.
You know, or does it mean buying new machinery and then updating everything to all the current building codes that Forsyth County has in place, or Dawson County, you know, and that's the other thing, like where we are now, we've become kind of easy to get to.
Yeah.
We've always kind of been easy to get to because of 400.
Sure.
But now it's even easier with the exit. So where do you move to?
Yeah.
You know, and keep
You're in a
that
good
customer
spot.
base where people know you.
Well, they're talking about that. I guess the new train depot going in Gainesville coming from the port.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
gonna
right.
help you guys at all?
No, we own property in Oakwood.
Okay.
So I already have a rail siding over there.
Okay.
So I think logistically it may help us get some of, you know, if it's going to take 5 weeks to get that rail car of Cedar, it may only take us 4 now.
Yeah.
So, you know, having that there, it may make it takes, because everything right now goes through, like all the rail traffic goes through Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have to, you know, set up trains that go north
Right.
or south, you know, whichever direction it's going.
Mm-hmm.
But Atlanta is the big depot. And I mean, we had a rail car one time that the way it got scheduled, it went from Atlanta to Greenville, South Carolina. So when it goes to Greenville, South Carolina, it goes right past our location, basically.
Right.
Right. And then it didn't get scheduled properly. So it went from Greenville, South Carolina to, I think it was down to Macon.
Yeah.
So it went by us again.
Yeah.
And then it went back up to Atlanta, got on a train, and finally went to us. Well, that took about a week and a half.
Jeez. just wave and watch it go.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. You can
Yeah.
sit there and you can watch it go right by. Yeah. So
coming up on 100 years, fun to look back at the past, see where you are. But what's 10 to 20 years? What's the outlay? Is Thomas Lumber just chugging along? Any new
I don't
plans?
see us at this point. I mean, I hope that, you know, well, Dad always said at some point the real estate may become more valuable than the business.
Yeah.
So, and he may, you know, he was a smart guy, so he's probably right at that point. So at that point, it's, you know,
You're probably getting close. I mean, just with the boom in that area. I mean,
yeah, it's getting tough. I mean,
Yep.
you know, you get the phone calls every
I
week.
bet.
Somebody, hey, you know, I see you own some property. We got some property.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't know, 10 to 20 years. You know, one of the advantages we have. So yeah, we're sitting on expensive real estate, but we're also debt free.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I can operate that location there as long as I want to. And hopefully it may change from the mill operation to more of just a lumberyard at that point,
Mhm.
you know, and we do move to a different location.
Right.
You have any
Yeah.
kids that want to follow in footsteps?
Well, I keep telling my son says he does, kind of
Okay.
like I did, but I keep telling him don't bet on it.
Yeah.
Just because in 10 years, 20 years, you don't know how the lumber business and how things will be in this area. You know, who knows? They may come up with AI may develop some kind of new material that's cheaper than lumber and is recyclable or whatever, and it
It
basically
won't
doesn't
smell like cedar, though.
Yeah, it won't smell like cedar, and it won't look as good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, with technology, it is interesting, even in the lumber business, how technology is changing. A lot more synthetics are being used, or even building codes. How building codes change over years. Yeah. They may do away with something where wood isn't needed as much anymore.
You just need Fixer Upper to come back on television.
Yeah, that's right.
Shiplap will take off.
Yeah, just shiplap. Well, it is interesting. You do see a lot of these trends, right? How things come back around.
So growing up, every lighting fixture and faucet in my house was brass. Doorknobs were brass. I thought it was the most hideous stuff in the world, and I was so glad when it left. And now my wife's buying brass. And I'm like, what are you doing? That was in the 80s and 90s. We're not doing brass anymore. But
we finished our basement here recently, and that's what my wife wanted too. Was the brass or gold fixture. She didn't call it brass. She called it gold. But you paint the cabinets. There's actually a color similar to these cabinets here, right?
Yep.
And the fixture's on its gold, and I'm going.
Yeah, I thought that was over. And wallpaper. Wallpaper's coming back. That's the worst stuff on the planet.
Well, we just need to keep wood paneling. We need to go back to some of the cool wood paneling. I can help you guys out with that.
If you do say so yourself.
That's right, yeah. Hint.
Man. Well, talking about the 100 years, you guys planning a big blowout? What are you going to do to celebrate?
I don't know. It's kind of one of those, we dealt with Dad's death last year. Yeah. So, and we knew we were coming up on 100 years. But we'll do something.
You got to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do something.
Set Melissa on it. She'll get something going.
Oh, I know. Between Melissa and my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have it taken care of. But no, I don't. What do you do for a 100-year celebration?
You got a lot of wood.
Y'all tell me. What would you do for a 100-year celebration?
Have a big party.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's have
Come
a block
to the lumber
party.
yard. Yeah.
All Coal Mountain's invited.
Yeah.
Come on out.
That's it.
North Coal Mountain or South Coal
That's right. That's it. We used to, for lunch, for the employees, we used to, occasionally have the varsity come out. Maybe that's why
they got a truck.
Truck.
Yeah.
Well, you'd get a crowd then.
Oh, I know. Johnny Talent would come.
Yeah, Johnny will be there regardless.
You get the varsity, I'll be there. I love it. That's a weakness.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's another business that's been around forever, right?
Yeah.
My kids like to go to the zoo, and I'm confident the only reason they want to go to the zoo is so we stop by the varsity on the way home.
Yeah.
That's like tradition now.
Well, it's funny. I remember as a kid, we go see Braves games, go to the Fulton County Stadium.
Yep.
And every time going, and they'd actually let you bring, I'm pretty sure I remember this right, but things get faded over the years. But they'd let you bring food into the stadium.
Yeah.
Because I remember stopping at the varsity. We get it.
You're right.
We get it to go. And I think we'd get to our seats and eat.
Yeah.
Eat varsity at the seats. That was like my dad's thing, right?
So my grandparents lived in Vidalia, Georgia, and we lived in Carrollton. They would drive through downtown. Didn't have to, but would come through downtown to pick up peach pies from the varsity.
Peach pie.
Oh, yeah.
And then drive to Carrollton. That makes zero sense. You could have come through Noonan and been there so much faster. But
I know they're building on. There's one in Dawsonville, but just the
junior doesn't hit like the original.
It's an experience.
Well, I remember and even that experience has changed. You want to talk about how things change, right? And how businesses change. Do you remember when you go to the varsity as a kid? And so my dad was a Georgia Tech grad.
Yeah.
So he had the lingo down, or how you ordered at the varsity. It was,
and there is definitely
it was a chili cheese steak. If you wanted a hamburger, right? Or PC if you wanted chocolate milk. There was, and he could just pop up and just order from it. Versus now, they've got a 1 or a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
Nobody speaks the lingo anymore.
2 naked dogs.
That's right. Naked dogs walking.
Yeah, naked dogs walking.
So Georgia Tech grad, does that mean you're a Georgia Tech fan as well?
I am.
Good.
That's right. Yes.
You could have told me that first.
I kind of forgot about that.
There's some good old fashioned hate in here right now.
There is. I'm glad Tech has a football team.
I enjoyed watching them last year. I had a blast.
I will say, did you hear that soundbite Brent Key gave recently about NIL period being done? I mean, he just came out and said it's so nice when it's over. Now that they've got some rules, I guess, around it. That he said I can meet with kids and not have to worry that they're leaving me tomorrow, right?
Right.
And he's just saying what all the other. I think it was well received in the community, in the football world. So he's a good guy. I mean, he's a Georgia Tech guy. Y'all got to be pleased with that, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Past couple seasons for sure. Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, I've always said football's better, or at least Georgia football's better when tech is good.
I agree.
I like that chance that we might lose.
Well, I just like seeing a football game instead of a high school football game.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the options just, no, thank you.
You got anything else over there? You want to go to rapid fire?
No, I think rapid fire, I'll do the first one that's sort of about Thomas Lumber too.
All right.
Someone in the community hears this and only remembers one thing about Thomas Lumber. What do you want it to be?
Ooh, that's a deep
We
rapid
usually
fire.
we usually give our people some time to work through these. We were derelict in getting you any.
No, that's
information.
good. That makes a true rapid fire.
Yeah.
You gotta think on your toes.
Christopher getting philosophical over there.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
No, I think, well, the one is obviously being in Cold Mountain. When they think of it, it's Thomas family, and you think of what my dad always stood for, and what he was truthful, he was honest, and if you were fair with him, he was always fair with you.
To a fault sometimes. I mean, truth with the truth.
Yeah,
Bobby would tell you.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, he was the first one. So I think that's one of the things, with Thomas Lumber is like, from a business perspective, I want people to know that we provide a quality product, and sometimes price doesn't go with a quality product.
Right.
It's up to the consumer to decide if that price is worth it. But sometimes you have to pay more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and there's
good.
a reason we're not a Home Depot or a Lowe's. They serve a purpose, and we serve a purpose, and ours is to serve the customer with the best quality product available.
It's a good word.
I think we'd try to do something similar here. I mean, we're not volume based. We're not doing 1,000 car wrecks a month like some folks are. It's more quality control than it is volume. So
yeah, that's right.
I like that answer. Yeah, you may go. This isn't on the list, but I've got to know, just because, like I said, when I drive by, the smell is just amazing. What's your favorite type of lumber?
Well, cedar, obviously.
Cedar? Okay.
Yeah, cedar. Cedar's, I mean, honestly, I think cedar's one of those, when you look at history and you look at trends of building, it's one of those.
Stood the test of time.
It stood the test of time. It's a great product outside of, some people don't like it because of carpenter bees in this area.
Goodness gracious, they do eat it alive.
Yeah.
Do y'all do anything special to get rid of them at the yard?
No, they don't. We don't have them at the yard.
Really?
I don't know what the deal is.
My porch is full of them.
Yeah. There's some people say there's a tomaticide you can use, like you spray this foam tomaticide in the hole, and
so once they've burrowed a hole in my porch, then I can squirt them, and they
you squirt it in. Well, and so I've had a guy that's been treating my deck, same thing for years, and we finally got it down to where it's in check. Like
I
did hang up. The kids were. Those things don't really work.
Tennis rackets.
And tennis rackets. If you don't live in a neighborhood, you know what's fun?
Yeah.
You can buy these little, like, 22, it's a bird shot, 22 shell. Yeah, you can use it target practice.
So my kids got these gel guns, or little Orbeez.
Oh, yeah.
beads.
Yeah.
You can blast a carpenter be one of those too.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
Or there's a salt gun. Have you seen those?
It's fully automatic,
Yeah. Yeah.
Just waste to be. All right, Cedar. I like it.
All right. What advice would you have for anyone that's operating a family-owned business?
Ooh,
you got some good ones over there.
Yeah.
That's always different. Like,
it is
family-owned can be a little.
But with this one's, with us being fourth generation, man, that's everybody says the third generation is the one that screws it up. Yeah. So, we're fourth generation. We at least made it past that point.
Yeah. Well, I think I know the answer.
Pressure's on me.
I think I know the answer to it. But did you enjoy working with your dad?
Man, it was, there were times I did and times I didn't.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing from a family-owned business, what you have to do is, one, you got to figure out what your place is and how you can get involved with it. And two, there's a lot of trials and tribulations that you go through emotionally as a family member. And by that, it's work is work. And when you go home life is home life.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like at the end of the, there were times, that Dad and I, he'd tell me to go home and I'd tell him to go home,
Yeah.
But we go have dinner together, at his house, and It was just that was just work.
Yeah.
We had
You know.
Jacob Otwell on Andine Chevrolet, and he said the same thing. I mean, working with this whole family,
Right.
basically you leave it at the door and we still go to
Yeah,
dinner.
that's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah. It's the whole,
Yeah, that's a whole family
There's a
versus
bunch of
my sister wants nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the key to a family business is, you know, you got to figure out how to separate work and family and know that when your dad is or the family member that's in charge, you're having a heated discussion with them or a discussion of what's going on at the operation. There is no emotion in that. That's what they see as a business decision.
strictly business. Yep.
Yeah, it's a business decision.
Hmm.
So,
All right, we'll take it in a different direction. This is my favorite question we ask. You get to have dinner with any historical figure ever. Who is it and where are you going?
ooh,
That's as deep as I can get.
yeah, yeah, a historical figure, and where are we going to dinner? Oh man. So for me, a historical figure, I'm going to try to pick somebody fun,
Okay.
Yeah.
right? You know, somebody that's going to have some stories.
Yep.
And but that you can have, you know, good conversations with and whatnot.
You know, we ask this question every time, and I still don't know
Who
would how would I,
Yeah,
how
I know.
would answer.
On this
Yeah.
this is. I feel like I need to, you know, pick the right person,
Right.
but
Yeah,
you know,
get one shot at it.
Takes
so
some
it's
big
funny.
contemplation.
So as a you know, I always heard people joke about this. Like they always said Bill Clinton would be a good person to go hang out with, right? You
Talk
like,
about some stories.
You want to go to a bar with Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not the person I want to have dinner with.
I don't think we've ever had Clinton.
No, that would.
Yeah,
that's
no,
a-
that one could, you know, it depends on your political views.
You would
could get
have
you
some
shot.
stories.
We've
There's
had some
no doubt.
Reagans. We had a Trump or two, I believe, but I don't think we ever had Clinton. We've had a lot of Jesus. Who else?
Yeah. I always figure I would
Somebody asked for.
come up with a ball player.
Yeah, somebody was a ball player. Oh,
Well, one of the thoughts I had would be Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you think about some of the ball players
He
from
was a
the
wild
60s.
man too, I think. Yeah.
Well, I mean, talk about some stories.
Yeah.
Going to dinner with him would just be,
For sure.
you know, because you know he's going to bring some of the old historic Yankees
Yeah.
with him.
all right. So
so-
if you go to dinner with Mickey Mantle, where are you going to eat?
Well, you got to go to a steakhouse,
You got to.
right? You know,
Yeah.
you got to go with, so we're probably going to go, let's pick somewhere historic, right? So we're going to go to the historic steak place. What is it in Vegas?
Oh, in Vegas.
Oh, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Like it was like the place the Rat Pack went.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
it's
not,
like,
it's
let's
not a
go-
big fancy building. Like it's,
I don't remember the name of it. But
Yeah.
we did
Oh, I
just
can't
talk about it.
Yeah.
And supposedly it still has like this wait list to get in, you know, like a year wait list to be able to get on reservations.
It'll come back.
Mickey,
So-
Mickey could get you.
Yeah,
on the
that's
list.
part of the reason too. Mickey could get us in, so let's go to dinner with Mickey Mantle at the steak place in Vegas.
Yeah, you're not going to have a problem. Just right in.
Plus, my dad was always a big Mickey Mantle fan,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
yeah,
So when you're not cutting wood and running a business, what do you like to do for fun?
drive race cars.
Race
Oh, I
car.
forgot
Okay.
about that.
Yeah,
About
tell
that.
me.
I know. I forgot. Yeah. Tell him a little bit about the race car driving.
So, for the last 25 years, I've driven race cars. So,
Okay.
and I've driven them all over North America.
Like
Europe.
NASCAR race cars or what?
No,
kind?
road course. So
Okay.
Road Atlanta would be.
Yeah.
That's the first track that first race I ever ran was at Road Atlanta. Started out racing BMWs, then moved to Porsches, and
Yeah.
basically I've raced everything from a Miata to, you know, a Porsche 911.
Okay.
So yeah, and everything in between.
You still driving?
I still do a little bit. You know, the business takes a little bit more time. The last like professional race that I ran was 2024 down in Sebring, Florida.
Okay.
But yeah, you know,
I guess you've been down to the new Porsche dealer or Porsche whatever.
the
Headquarters.
Experience Center. Yeah.
I
Been
had-
down there.
I've had lunch there and watched it, but I've never got to
Yeah.
get there and drive.
Just remember that's an experience center.
Okay.
That's so
Experience.
you have an experience,
Yeah.
not it's not really a go fast center.
I've seen.
Experience center.
Haven't you done some like teaching of
Yeah, so I do
down
some,
at the fairgrounds where you were sliding around?
we did. We had it started for a little bit. It was an organization called Street Survival, Teen Street Survival, or TIRAC Teen Street Survival.
Mm-hmm.
It was really a great deal. It was volunteer based. Kids would bring 15 to 18-year-old kids. The parents would sign them up, and they'd bring their own vehicle, and there's a course, and it's it was backed by the you get an insurance discount with it and all that stuff.
Okay.
So it classified for that, but we'd teach them a defensive driving course, but it's not a book defensive driving course of how to get from point A to point B. It was accident avoidance,
right?
How to handle the car, how to steer into a skid, how to how to do emergency lane changes, things of that nature.
Yeah, I remember seeing that down there.
Yeah, really, to me, that was after Melissa's accident.
Right.
That was always a big. I thought that would have been a great thing to get going in the community, because and keep it going in the community. I wish there was a way to partner with like the sheriff's department or the police force, so those guys could be the volunteers that ride right seat.
Yeah.
Was always my thoughts, because it was cheap. It was $75 or $100 a student.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They got to experience it in their own cars, and we've got the parking lot at the fairgrounds. It was a great facility to host it in.
We went to lunch with CPD, some of the guys the other day, and they were doing some kind of driving training up near your office.
Yeah, they do it at the old Cold Mountain Builders location.
Yeah, like pit maneuvers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that. That'd be a blast.
Yeah, I want to go try that. I've done a few of those, but not on the street, not on purpose.
Yeah. What about vacation? Where do you go on that vacation? Wherever Risa tells you.
Yeah, wherever Risa tells me. That's always it.
Yeah.
No, we've always gone to, like, family wise. We take a yearly trip to Montana or two.
Okay.
So Montana's our spot.
What part?
Close to Glacier National Park.
Yeah,
everybody knows. Everybody's heard of Whitefish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the closest area, but it's great. We've got a family place out there, and it's halfway between the east and west entrance to Glacier.
Okay.
So
that's on the bucket list. I'm going to go see Glacier.
Glacier's awesome. Don't tell anybody. Cut that one.
Okay.
Because everybody's coming out there.
My wife and I were supposed to, we'd book
with
the
all
thing.
these Taylor Sheridan shows. Everybody's like, "Oh, we're
really
see
is.
Montana."
No, it's crazy. So
you're good.
You go to a bar in Montana and you mention, "Hey, what do you think about Yellowstone?"
Yeah.
If it's a local that you're sitting next to, you're going to get kicked out of the bar.
Jessica and I planned our 10-year wedding anniversary. We were flying into Missoula, I think, and going up to Glacier, staying in Whitefish, doing Glacier, and coming down and staying at Triple Creek Ranch and not Granby, that's in Colorado. It started with a G. Anyway, from that ranch, you could see where they filmed Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
And Jessica wanted to see it. So,
cool.
Yeah.
But then COVID and Delta, and it got canceled. So.
Well, for our required PJ mentioning, he went to Bozeman, I think, last week or something. Yeah, he said it was awesome. Had a blast.
No, it's beautiful.
Montana.
What's
Darby, Montana. That's where it was.
Yeah, that's where it is. But there's some great places out there like that. Montana's just awesome. It's
just fascinating. I mean, I love Big Sky. I love ski. That's top 3 resorts for sure. But it's a good spot.
So we go, vacation. Risa always wants a beach trip. So you get a beach trip in at some point, and then at the same time, but we always take a family trip to Montana.
Mm-hmm.
That's always ours.
It's fun.
Yeah.
What else?
And that's it. You got anything any last bits of knowledge you want to drop on us?
Or anything that Thomas Lumber is doing in the community you want people to know about, or anything like that?
As far as like things, one question I get asked a lot with Thomas Lumber is like, do you sell to the public? I don't know why people think we don't sell to the public, but
sell to anybody who wants to buy, right?
Yeah. Anybody who wants to buy, we'll sell to them. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
So we are open to the public. We're open 7:30 to 5.
Okay.
Monday through Friday, and it's 7:30 to 5. We don't dilly dally around. So that, and I think one of the things we're proud to be a part of the community, and proud to have been here as long as as long as we have been. It's, there's if there's anything that we can do to help the community, we're always open to help the community out. And it's where we're born and raised.
Yeah. It's a special place.
It is.
I've been here coming on 14 years and I love it. It's home.
Well, it's a benchmark, man. And I'm proud of you, proud of your dad, knowing your family.
Yeah.
Love
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on. This is
awesome
a
stuff.
pleasure to kind of talk about some of this
100 years, and here's to the next 100, right?
That's right.
I'll admit to you, when Christopher told me you were coming on, for some reason I expected an old man. He said 100 years. I'm like, we got an old man. He's not going to know how to do this podcast thing. But this is fantastic.
Coming in with my walker.
So when you walk, I was pleasantly surprised. Like, oh, all right, we'll have a good conversation. That's great. I appreciate you bringing the stuff to
I just thought, when you guys mentioned the props, I thought that was,
love it.
Good. I mean, that's an OG Thomas Lumber hat right there. So,
and the black and white too. All of it. Just, that's great. Well, thanks again. So tell folks where can they find you online? Social media?
So online, we've websites, thomaslumberco.com.
Okay.
And then, we don't do a great job of social media just because, but we have, Facebook and Instagram, Thomas Lumber Co. That's our Instagram handle and Facebook. So we don't really keep it updated as much as we probably should in this digital age.
We wouldn't either if we didn't have Jeff. So
that's part of it. But but if phone number, old school way to get in touch with us is 770-887-4754, or shoot us an email with whatever inquiry you want. Email's on the website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, man. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
You bet. As always, you can find us BettisMusgrove.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Bettis Musgrove. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.